On Next 5 Minutes, we speak truth to power and the powerless without fear of cancel culture, because you can't cancel what you didn't create. Time is not a therapeutic tool. No. There's no such thing as luck, whether it be good or bad. Nothing that you can name can fail its own purpose, unless its name is failure. This is Next 5 Minutes Inspirit, the official follow-up to popular YouTube video, The Next 5 Minutes Can Change Your Life. Today we will talk about strongholds and how they affect our lives. But what is a stronghold? In the physical, it is a fortified place. In your mind, it is a mindset, but the mind is a spiritual place, so you cannot see or touch it, yet it exists. One way of creating a stronghold in your mind will involve having sex with people, as it produces soul ties. In this example, the soul tie connection between people is not evident by the naked eye, and they may not be immediate, but the effects are clear. Simply put, we are subject to and possibly under the influence of whatever our sexual partners are also influenced by. The operative words here are subject and under. So the soul tie is a pathway for spiritual transmission from one to another. So we stand to gain more than a sexually transmitted disease from a sexual partner. We could get something of a spiritual nature that no doctor or medicine can get rid of. Facts. It could be that your sexual partner or partners have some attachment to, say, addictions. It could be pornography, or it could even be poverty or depression, insecurity, promiscuity, to name a few. But let's take pornography. This is not just a word. In the life of someone dealing with it, it is a spiritual place. Inside the spiritual place called the mind. In the case of pornography, long after you've had sex with this person and long after the relationship is over, you are now dealing with pornography. But why is it hard for some people to rid themselves of this type of addiction? Well, pornography is also more than just a spiritual place. It is also a stronghold. What's the problem with a stronghold? Well, the Bible says, first you must bind the strong man, and then you will spoil his house. This is a popular scripture. Now, if you created the stronghold of pornography in your mind, in your life, to rid yourself of it, you would firstly have to bind the strong man. But who is the strong man? Notice the Bible doesn't say you can kill a strong man or burn his house down. Nope. It says you can pull a strong man down. It doesn't say you can destroy it. This is important to note because some people rebuild their strongholds. This is called relapse. So you see, the remnants or the memories of the stronghold will remain with us. This is a case for therapy or some form of counseling. But some people don't like therapy or even the thought of it. They say time heals all wounds. No, time is not a proven therapeutic tool. Don't be fooled by this mindset. It too is a stronghold. Trauma doesn't get better. People get better. Look at how many people make poor decisions because of some old trauma. We've all heard stories of some defendant whose attorney tells the judge, "Your Honor, my client suffered a horrible childhood trauma." Now, I don't blame that person for what happened to them as a child, but I do blame them for what they do to others as an adult. This is also a case for us to work on our inner child, which can be a stronghold too. Don't expect your new love interest to help you raise your inner child either. Start working on that thing now. If you missed it, I asked, who is the strong man? What if we are that strong man in our own lives? What if our own stubbornness and unwillingness to change is the strong man? The stronghold is a mindset, and the strong man is the one living in and furnishing that mindset. It will likely take therapy or deliverance to deal with this situation. But how did we get here? Here's an example using our keyword. Say someone goes to a bar. They are subject to alcohol, drinking, intoxication, and so forth. That is subject to. Now, if the same person decided to have a drink, they are now under the influence of alcohol, technically. Now, if they are met by a police officer on the road while driving under the influence, that technicality becomes a legality. If they make it home without incident, they are still subject to and under the influence of alcohol until the effects wear off. Get it? In the first place, subject to means simply around. It's a situation or a condition that someone is in. Under means you've lost a degree of control of yourself. You are open to suggestions to do things that you would not ordinarily do. Now, how many people blame sexual contact on alcohol? A lot. This is one type of stronghold. The other is our own subconscious mind. Note how many times we see a commercial on TV in a day, maybe 40 or 50 times, sometimes back to back to back. Now, there's a reason for this. The design is to get the message to imprint on our subconscious mind. A beverage commercial featuring a nondescript guy flanked by beautiful women in bikinis. Now, that same nondescript guy finds himself in a store shopping for a beverage, and no surprise, he buys the one from the commercial. But wait, there's more. His subconscious mind directed him not only to make the purchase, because that's what it does, but it also accepted the party scene as true as well. So now the man is likely to have an urge to seek out a party. Still on the subject of the subconscious stronghold, notice how we react to another report of a school shooting. At first, we rush to get more information about it. And then, not long after we've obtained this information, we're off doing something else. Our conscious mind is appalled by the news of the shooting, but our subconscious mind has already accepted this degree of violence simply because of its volume. So it's no different than the number of times that we've seen that beverage commercial. It's an unintentional effect. Let's check back in with that couple that just met after a 30-second search on an app. It took them only a few exchanges to arrange a meeting place, and now it's been 2 minutes since we left them. Their entanglement is over, they've parted, and they're going their separate ways. Now, a week later, the spiritual profiles that had been following them separately have now been successfully exchanged, and now they're experiencing the influence of these spirits for the first time. In time, they might even say they're having bad luck. I know, most people would not attribute a negative turn of events in their lives to the person that they slept with. That's because it's just too hard to believe. I get it. Now, if you are carnal-minded, you are not spiritually minded. But regarding luck, there is no such thing as luck, whether it be good or bad. All spiritual and temporal things have a name and a purpose. To assign luck as a reasoning for occurrences in your life is ignorance of the source of these occurrences. Note, nothing that you can name can fail its own purpose unless its name is failure. Story time. I wasn't raised in a church, but I longed for a church home. After searching and successfully finding one, I would go to that church for years, and for one reason or another, I would leave. And I still had this desire to help people, so I started producing these videos and writing books about leadership and relationships. I said, that's it. I don't want to talk about God or religion because I don't want to turn people off. I was fine when I started out. But then all of a sudden, I started talking about love and God and religion and spirituality. If you watch my videos, you'll notice that I do quote the Bible, but I always leave out the chapter and verse. I'm like, that's where I draw the line. Remember, I said nothing that you can name can fail its own purpose. Now, I may have changed over the years, but my purpose didn't, because my name didn't change. No matter how far I tried to run, no matter what I was trying to do, purpose was still coming out of my mouth. As long as we're alive, we all have purpose. It's not too late. You can be bullied, called by derogatory names, but your bully cannot change your purpose, nor can they change your name. You could be in a trap house right now watching this video. The drugs you took may have changed your physiology. It may have changed your finances, changed your reputation, and certainly changed your sleep patterns, but not your purpose or your name. Look at me. I just told you I was running from purpose, and now I'm talking about purpose. Someone could have left a comfortable life 5 years ago, and at some point they became bankrupt or maybe addicted to something. It doesn't have to take 5 years to work your way back. You can make up your mind right now, today, before this video is even over. You don't have to retrace all 5 years and undo everything that you did. If you need help and you can't do this on your own, you can text 988, well, at least in several states, including my home state of New York. It's operated by an organization called 988lifeline.org. All right, so story time is over. Or as my Caribbean people say, story done. Now, where was I? Talking about luck, right? Look, if you live long enough, good and bad things will happen to you, sometimes in rapid succession. But as we learned today, some things that we're dealing with came from the other side of the bed. And what if you did have bad luck? What should you do? Purchase some good luck? Well, if you could purchase good luck, where did it come from? What is it? What was its source? That's a story for another day. Okay, so we talked about sex. We dismissed all forms of luck. We may have a change in mind about therapy. And we covered being subject to or being under the influence of a spirit. Now, let's look at one of the spirits that will give us the most trouble. This next spirit that I will tell you about carries two different names from two different points of view or institutions. What clinicians call a narcissist, the church calls the Jezebel spirit. The characteristics are many, but we will cover just 2 for today. Those under this influence are selfish and controlling. This spirit is not about promiscuity per se. It does seek power, but above all, it seeks to control people who have power. You ever notice how sex and politics seem to go hand in hand? I'm not saying these spirits are sentient and they seek people out. No. Consider this example. The United States is under the spirit of Christmas because it is a national holiday, and as a result, all Americans are subject to it as well. During Christmas time, avenues are decorated, people buy presents, commercials carry the theme, and so on. But not every American is under the spirit of Christmas, because not every American celebrates the holiday. I think we neatly addressed the topics that we had to talk about today. Let's begin to wrap up our session. Sex can be weaponized and used to destroy people. It can be used as a means of control, and some people use it as a rewards-based system. But the primary function of sex is procreation. If you are having sex with a bunch of random people, you are creating and giving life to strongholds. And some of our forefathers entertained and created strongholds in their lives. And unfortunately, some of those strongholds were passed to us in the form of generational curses. It's another thing that we might label bad luck incorrectly. All right. Well, that's it. Once again, we unpacked a lot, and I'll leave you to sort it all out. As I leave you for a short time, I hope you are under the spirit of peace, love, happiness, prosperity, good health, and humor. I'm Abrams. You're awesome. I'll see you in the next 5 minutes.